Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'd like to welcome you to Miss Lisa's Learning Hub. Today we're going to be talking about two more parts of speech called conjunctions and interjections. But before we get started with that, let's kind of review some of the other parts of speech that we've already talked about, just as a refresher. So in all, there are 8 parts of speech. A noun. Remember, a noun is a person, a place, or a thing. A girl, a boy, a boat. A pronoun replaces a noun. So instead of saying Sally, we may say she. Instead of saying Billy, we may say he. A verb is either an action word or a state of being. An action meaning you run, you skip, you hop, you jump. A state of being would be your linking verbs or your being verbs. They don't have an action, but they say things like was going, were going. An adjective, which describes a noun. Adjectives are always descriptive words. Sometimes they are colors like black or pink. Then we also have adverbs. Adverbs modify a verb or an adjective or another adverb. Adverbs usually tell us, they answer questions like how or what or when, quickly, slowly. We also have prepositions. Prepositions show relationships between nouns, pronouns, and other words in the sentence. And some prepositions can be words like in, they can be around, above, below. Generally, they come as part of a phrase, in the corner, above the bed, under the box. That would all be prepositional phrases. And now get into our new words. An interjection. An interjection is a word or a phrase used to show strong emotion. Like, you can say words in a bunch of different ways. You can say, wow, that's pretty. That shows absolutely no emotion. And so we wouldn't use an interjection for that. But if you saw a sunset, for example, and you said, wow, that is a beautiful sunset. Wow would be the interjection because you put a lot of strong feeling into it. And it's always followed by an exclamation point. So here's our example. Wow, that was an amazing catch. So we say it with a lot of feeling. Imagine when you're hurting yourself. You don't just say, ouch, that hurts. You say, ouch, that hurts. So we would put the exclamation after the word wow or after the word ouch if we say it with strong feeling. All right, our final part of speech is a conjunction. And a conjunction is a word used to connect words, phrases, or clauses. And those conjunctions would be and, or but. And an example would be, I wanted to play, but it was raining. Okay, so basically what we're doing here is we are joining two sentences using the word but. So that's a conjunction. All right, let's practice. All right, in this first section, we're going to complete each sentence with a conjunction, and, or but. I was tired, blank, I kept walking. All right, so we have to complete this with either and, or but. So again, two sentences, we're joining them by this conjunction. So I was tired, what do you think? If you said the word but, I kept walking, you would be correct. All right, another sentence, and we're going to complete it with either and, or but. Janet lives in Austin, blank, Jenny lives in Dallas. Two different people. We have to combine it with a conjunction. So we're going to say what? Janet lives in Austin and Jenny lives in Dallas. And finally, he did not find any trap doors, blank, hidden stairways, and, or but. All right, if you said or, you would be correct. He did not find any trap doors or hidden stairways. All right, let's try practicing using some interjections. All right, so all we're going to do for this part is we're going to circle the interjection in each sentence. Here's number 1. Ouch, the bee stung me. Remember, we said if we used words like an interjection, we put very strong feeling, we always followed them with an exclamation point. So if we keep that in mind, The interjection in this sentence would have to be, ouch, the bee stung me. All right, you try the next one. Hooray, we won the game. What do you think is the interjection in that sentence? If you said hooray, you would be correct. And finally, oh no, I forgot my homework. What do you think? Awesome. If you said oh no, you would be correct. All right, guys. So here are our 8 parts of speech: noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, interjection, and a conjunction. Conjunctions join using and, but, or. Generally, they're joining 2 complete sentences together, and they help them to make sense. And an interjection is going to show strong emotion, always followed by an exclamation point. All right, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this lesson and found it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.